Does investing feel scary to you? It feels so scary to so many people. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why it feels so scary to invest your money and what you can do about each of those reasons so that you can feel more confident about investing your money. Hi, I'm Camille Gaines. I'm a personal finance author and I've been investing myself for well over 30 years. And here I share what I've learned during that time investing. In this video, I want to share with you 5 reasons that investing feels so incredibly scary. I get it. I grew up with Depression-era parents. I have made mistakes with investing. I understand how scary it is. I've been through several bear markets, and it's scary to think about not having funds for life, right? So I want to share with you what I've sort of figured out around this and how to overcome it. The very first reason that it feels so scary is because it pays for our food and shelter. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, well, that's way up there. We really need food and shelter, right? And so it's a pretty valid worry if you think about it. So how can you overcome this? Well, I really think that the way to overcome this particular issue is simply to acknowledge it and go, yeah, this is important. I do have to have money. I have to have funds for life, and I'm going to choose to focus on creating and having enough money for life. You know, creating wealth, building wealth, investing, whatever that is for you right now. So that's the first thing. The second reason that we feel so worried about money or so fearful about money, because as humans, our brains way back when needed to be afraid and worry about something. We needed to be fearful because way back, if we came out of our cave and we weren't worried about getting eaten by an animal or running out of food, then we wouldn't have survived. So all this worry is part of our brain. It's part of our makeup as human beings. And we no longer have to worry about an animal eating us or about, most of us, unfortunately, a lot of people do, but most people, especially watching this video, don't have to worry about running out of food right now. So what happens as a result is we have that worrying part of our brain and it has to go somewhere. So it worries about all sorts of things. And one of the top things it worries about is money. And so we're conditioned as human beings to worry. So what can you do about that to get rid of it? Well, you can simply acknowledge that this is happening and that you could be worrying unreasonably. You know, I recently watched the movie with J. Paul Getty about his All the Money in the World, I believe it's called. And it was so incredible that he was washing his own underwear because he didn't want to pay the small amount to have his underwear washed. Yet he was the richest private individual at the time. Back in 1966, I believe it was, Guinness Book of Records said he was the wealthiest private citizen. And so his net worth at that time was $1.2 billion. That means that now that would be almost $10 billion. And so he was worried about money. He was washing his own underwear. And so if he was doing it, I think it really makes sense for regular people like us to be doing it. It's a normal part of being a human. Not only that, you know, it's something that I think that we can overcome if we just acknowledge it and are aware of this. So the third reason that we are afraid about investing is because it's sort of like child rearing. I didn't know how to raise kids until after I already had them. And that is so scary and unfortunate. But you hear people talk about that first kid, yeah, you read the books and you try so hard, but until you're there doing it, it's different, right? And it's the same way with investing your money. Until you're actually doing it, you don't know how to do it until you're experiencing it and going through the steps and making decisions. You don't know how to invest, just like you don't know how to raise a kid before you've had them. And so it's super scary because then it's too late. I joke with my kids, I already made the mistakes. Like, I didn't know how to raise a child. So investing is the same way. And that means you're going to make some mistakes. So I think one of the most important things here is realizing that everybody makes mistakes with their investing. I've been listening to Ray Dalio's new book, and it's incredible that he made huge mistakes after years of investing. He is the head of Bridgewater, a huge investment firm, and he's one of the richest people in the world. I believe it's top 100 as I record this video. And that's according to, let me make sure I get my source right, Bloomberg. And Ray Dalio, I listened to this book and I'm going, wow, he made mistakes, because you assume that these investors are perfect. You assume that Warren Buffett is perfect. Everybody that's ever invested has made mistakes. It's just part of being human. It's part of doing it, of taking action. And the important thing, and here's the secret, or the step, or the workaround for this one, is it's simply to know that it's part of the process, but more importantly, it's to learn from your mistakes. And once you embrace that, yeah, I really messed up, and instead of just living in fear for the rest of your life, oh my gosh, I'm never going to invest again because I made mistakes, if you embrace that and say, I made mistakes, but here's what I learned from it, and next time I'm going to do this strategy. I know this. And I can tell you that I do know that this works. And you can see, I've been through a few bear markets. I've made a few mistakes, trust me. And so I speak from the heart when I share these insights with you. Now, the next reason that people make so many mistakes is because when we do make a mistake, we beat ourselves up relentlessly. And so we don't want to go back there. We avoid investing. It feels fearful. It feels wrong because we did make mistakes and we're so hard on ourselves. And so I'll tell you a little story. When I was in my late 20s, I bought a stock on a hot tip. I remember from my girlfriend Brickle. We were snow skiing and she told me, oh, you got to buy this medical company. And I was just, had a little bit of money. And I bought the stock and it, of course, tanked. And I didn't research it. And my dad said that was the best thing that could have happened, Camille, because with a small amount of money, you learned that you need to learn about what you invest in. You need to do your homework before investing. And you need to remember that if you're in the stock market, you can lose your money. And I've always remembered that since that lesson. But I've also realized that I can't beat myself up for making mistakes because it's a part of the process. And then the fifth thing, and you can do that as well. So that's the way to overcome that one. And then the fifth thing is that most people, they don't learn about investing. They start investing or they have someone else manage their investments for them, whether that's a retirement account through an employer or a financial advisor, and they don't learn about it. They just feel so relieved to turn this over to somebody, or it feels so overwhelming. So I remember Peter Lynch, his book back in the 1980s. I remember reading Peter Lynch saying that people would spend all this time, months, researching a trip and or weeks researching a new washing machine. Yet people would put their life savings into funds or with wealth managers or into investments without spending anywhere near the same amount of time learning. Power comes from education. Power comes from knowledge. And once you have that power, you can be more confident. And that is the way to overcome that fear around investing, is to step forward and learn the basics of anything you're investing in. Always embrace that. That's what I wanted to share with you in this video. If you found this information helpful, I would love it if you would let me know by giving me the thumbs up button or thumbs up, little click below the video. And I'll put a link below with some more information about this down in the description area. Thank you. I appreciate your watching.